into this life, and I figure what else to do with my life than to try to understand life and try to understand things. What is more exciting than to be born into this world and then explore it on a really deep level? Like, one thing is traveling and exploring it, like, physically. Another thing is, like, traveling through a microscope and look at cells and stuff, or travel through knowledge and travel. You're pretty much traveling. I'm just scratching my ass.
Hey guys, so I'm making another really unplanned video. I just felt in the mood to film a video, and I'm praying to God I have enough memory on my iPad, because if not, then that sucks. Anyway, so today I thought I would talk about... That was Tinder. Yes, I use Tinder. I honestly, just like side note, I think that when it comes to dating apps and stuff, I think that you can meet interesting people on them, like as long as you specify like what you want from them and stuff. Like right now, not really, I don't know, I'm not really looking for a relationship because I kind of just ended a relationship, or I didn't end it, but anyways, I don't know, it's just nice to meet new people, maybe go on a few days, you never know. Not gonna get into that. Yeah, this video I wanted just to kind of like talk about kind of like why I study what I do and why I studied that over something else that I wanted to do. So just the history of what I wanted to become when as I grew up. First of all, of course, when I was pretty young, I wanted to be a pop star. I was really into music, and it carried on for quite a while. I was thinking of going into music school actually, but that didn't happen because I think I didn't get in actually, which I'm really glad, because if I had gotten in there I wouldn't have met these awesome friends that I still keep in contact with now in high school. Because like after middle school we go into like different schools, kind of like you could choose music school, you can choose this and that, more specify, like you could choose to go into like mechanic stuff or whatever. It's not like everyone does the same high school, like, or you could go to regular high school, which is just like school. So yeah, and in between there I was like thinking I want to be a flight attendant. That was like my life goal. I wanted to be a flight attendant, and I did some fuck off Tinder. People are probably judging me right now. Anyways, what was I fucking saying? What was I saying? Yeah, flight attendant. Yeah, I did some like work experience days that we did in middle school, end of middle school. We did like, we had to like get a job and work. Like we didn't get paid or anything, it was just like through the school kind of thing. And my dad, he's a pilot, so he had contacts, and he got me, basically I was able to be a fucking flight attendant for 2 days when I was like 16, and I got to like check in. I got to be like the check-in people. I checked in luggage and shit, like, oh yeah, like, I just have always loved like airplanes since I was a little kid. But it just kind of, when in middle school sometime, I just had an epiphany, like, yeah, I want to be a flight attendant. Of course, I love airplanes. Of course I want to do that. So I wanted to do that. So yeah, that was like my life goal, but now I realize that shouldn't be my life goal. I'm thinking of doing that after I get my undergraduate degree. I'm thinking of being a flight attendant for a while, just because I want to be surrounded by airplanes. Like, I'm like weird. I have this one friend, Ethan, if you're watching this, he's like the only guy who really gets me when it comes to airplanes. Like, we just like fucking like, I don't know, he's like, and I also have like my friend Tori and stuff who loves airplanes, and I have a few friends who love airplanes, but some people just don't get it, like, Anyways, enough about that. And so after that I was like, no, why would I be a flight attendant? I can be a pilot. So for a while I was thinking about that, being a pilot. But then in high school I started to get more interested in like actually studying and actually learning, kind of a thing. And I remember I had this subject called Theory of Knowledge, which is kind of like how do we know things and all this stuff. And we watched this one video that I think changed my life, and it's called What is Reality by Joe Rogan. I'll link it down below. And I just realized like that is my passion. That is like what is gonna drive me the rest of my life. I just started to get, and I remember the day I found out philosophy is for me. I was looking at like universities and stuff, and I was looking at different degrees, and then I saw this. I was looking at a university in Australia because I was thinking of going there, and I saw it said philosophy, and I'd kind of heard about it before, and people don't talk much about philosophy nowadays because people think it's like unpractical, irrelevant, or whatever the fuck. it isn't. Fuck. It isn't. It's like the basis of a lot of things in reality. Like it's the basis of science. It's the basis of pretty much every like other subject. Like yeah, because like philosophy, under philosophy is logic, metaphysics, epistemology, all these different subjects that are the basis for sciences and stuff like that. Like metaphysics studies presumptions that we have that we use in science, and there's philosophy of nature, there's all sorts of branches, and they're all applicable to all sorts of different subjects. So if you say philosophy is irrelevant, you have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, so I remember that moment. I honestly, it was like a fucking like a eureka moment. I remember I went down to my mom, I was like, I know what I'm gonna do for my life, I know what I'm gonna study. Is that my friend Sharps? Sharpsy! Sharpsy! Anyways, yeah, so I knew, okay, that is fucking what I'm gonna study. I'm just scratching my ass. And yeah, I just kind of knew that, like, as much as I loved airplanes and aviation, and I just fucking love being in airplanes, like, just like, fuck, to me, it's much more than just like a fucking machine. It's like, it's something that represents kind of human potential. And I actually have a post I'm just gonna insert here. It's from my Instagram. You could read it. Like, I'll just maybe put it in here. So yeah, like, it's kind of like an image of what is possible. And people used to say that, you know, flying wasn't possible before because we didn't have enough knowledge about aerodynamics and all that shit. But once we got enough knowledge, we could fucking do that. Like, humans have a lot of potential, and among that potential to be compassionate towards all beings, but not gonna get into that right now. So yeah, because some people ask me, like, why don't you become a pilot instead? Because, I don't know, I guess they think it's more practical to make more money or something. But I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I guess in some way I could do that, and sometimes I think, what if I should have done that kind of thing, and I could just do philosophy on the side, but don't make me self second guess. But sometimes I do. But like, at my core, I'm a philosopher. So the reason basically why I study philosophy is because I'm born into this life, and I figure what else to do with my life than to try to understand life and try to understand things. And when I say philosophy, I'm a philosopher, that means I'm interested in pretty much everything. I'm interested in physics, biology, chemistry, anthropology, psychology. I'm interested in all disciplines because I just want to know. I want to learn more about the life that I'm living, and that to me was just kind of like more essential than just flying, if that makes sense. But like I said, I could have chosen to be a pilot and then like do philosophy on the sideline, but I don't want to put that in my head right now. But who knows? I mean, there are people, even like my dad has said that he's flown with people who used to be professor. I think he told me that once, that he's flown with someone who used to be professor at a university, and then he, after that, like after all that education, decided, oh, I'm gonna be pilot, bitch, bye. So I don't know. I think that the world is full of possibilities. The only problem really is that it costs money to get education, right? So like, I can't just do all the education in the world. Like, I can't be a professor of philosophy and a pilot. And I mean, I don't know, I guess everything's possible, but like, I don't know if this was interesting at all, but I do get questions like, why are you studying philosophy? And they're like, what are you gonna do with your life after? And I'm thinking, this makes me happy. This makes me so happy. And to me, that is so much more valuable than doing something just for the money. You know what I mean? Like, I truly love philosophy, and the whole idea of philosophy, the whole idea of like a love of wisdom is what philosophy means. And I love having good conversations with people and connecting. I connect with people in the sense that philosophy tries to teach you to be unbiased and to be able to, you know, in logic, to argue, trying to get to the truth, not like avoiding attacking the person. Like, I don't know, I feel like I connect very well with people because philosophy also gives me personal characteristics. Like, I just feel like somehow I understand people more, and I'm not as judgmental. And I'm always trying to find the truth of the matter in things. I mean, sometimes that isn't possible, like in the situation I am in right now. But that's a personal situation. But yeah, I just basically, bottom line is just like, what is more exciting than to be born into this world and then explore it on a really deep level? Like, one thing is traveling, and exploring it like physically. Another thing is like traveling through a microscope and look at cells and stuff, or travel through knowledge and travel. You're pretty much traveling. You're traveling the sea of knowledge or something, or the airway of knowledge. You're flying through, I don't know. I find it so poetic, and many philosophers make philosophy sound so poetic. Like, it just touches me, and some people don't understand that, and think I'm crazy, but maybe I am. But I'd rather be crazy than absolutely boring, honestly. Okay, but honestly, let me know what kind of videos you guys want, because this was just a very spontaneous one. Sometimes I like to talk and I like to explain things, and I encourage people to look into philosophy, because I think that if you like something enough, you'll find some kind of job. And I'm also taking psychology, by the way, double major. I'm thinking of being a philosophy professor. But if you like something enough, don't give a shit about what you're gonna do afterwards. Just follow your heart and what you like, and I think you'll do good. I think you'll figure it out. That's what I'm doing, and I think I'd be absolutely miserable if I did not study philosophy and psychology. I really like psychology too, but that's not like my main passion. Psychology is just what I start with. I also want to do like physics, chemistry, biology, but I don't know. I'm starting with psychology because it's so practical in the sense that, I don't know, it's like learning about human behavior, and it's so like out there, so practical. Like I said, like I can learn about my own issues. Okay, bye. Forgot to kind of say that I guess the conclusion would be that philosophy is the one subject I feel really connect to with life. I mean, it's science too, if you kind of approach it like a philosopher, if that makes sense. But like, being a philosopher, you're like exploring life in all sorts of ways. It's just, I don't know, it's just so beautiful in my opinion when you really think about it. Like, I just feel like it's connected me so much to life, and it makes me so reflective. And you know, in my darkest times, that's what keeps me going, is that there's so much out there to explore and so much out there to learn. And I don't know, it's just, and I also forgot to mention that I'm just sitting here editing the video, by the way. That's why I'm filming this. Import complete, okay. So I also forgot to mention that I feel like aviation, like airplanes and stuff, is connected to my love for philosophy, because I find that every time I travel, every time I'm flying, somehow it takes me out of my mind, or my like personal life, if that makes sense. It takes me out of stupid thoughts and kind of puts me in this zone of philosophizing, because there's just something about it that just, I can't explain it. It's almost like, I wrote a Facebook post once, it's almost like I'm so close to death, in the sense that if this thing falls down, I'm gonna be dead. So everything, all the issues of my life seem so insignificant. And yeah, I feel like I make everything poetic in my head. But I just, at the end of the day, I gotta remind myself how much I love life and how glad I am that I'm alive. Whether or not this is real, because there are theories that this is a computer simulation, like actual theories that argue that this might be a computer simulation. So that's fucked up, but I guess the world is as real as you want it to be, and what is really real. I want to take a metaphysics course soon, which is like, what is real. But yeah, okay, bye.